What's going on, Waves fans? Welcome to Ep.1 of the Tidal Surge. We got a great episode for you here today with the first and only podcast in the NECBL. Here we talk with Richard Lovelady, pitcher of the Kansas City Royals, Tony Dibrell, pitcher in the New York Mets organization, and Bobby Stachura, trainer in the Boston Red Sox organization with the low A team, the Greenville Drive. We're going to give you a little bit of background as to why we're doing this podcast. So as you know, there's no baseball this year. There's no NECBL baseball. There's not a lot to look at here around New England, baseball-wise now. So our goal with this podcast is to deliver all the baseball content that you, a Waves, NECBL, summer baseball fan, whatever baseball fan you may be, our goal is to deliver the best and most quality baseball content we can to you this summer if you can't get your hands on some baseball. So with that, we're going to get right into it. Episode 1 of the Tidal Surge here. We got some great guests so far, or we got some great guests to start. We got Richard Lovelady, pitcher with the Kansas City Royals, 2015 Wave. We got Tony Dibrell, AA pitcher with the New York Mets, 2016 Wave?
2015.
2015, okay. So
Yeah.
2015, we got Joe Mello, Director of Baseball Ops, and the owner, president, general manager himself, Eric Hirschbein-Bodnar. We got a great episode to come.
Well, boys, welcome back. First time, we're not in the Ocean State, but we'll say back together as a family. You know, obviously, you guys started this whole thing, which I had to ask, did you guys know each other before you played with the Waves? I know you transferred, Richard, from your junior college.
Yeah.
But you guys, or was it your first time kind of working, playing together that summer?
So,
Yeah.
you want to take that or you can get it?
I got it. Yeah, I had no idea who Richard was. And when I got to Rhode Island, Finney, he was like, yo, this kid goes to your school. I was like, bro, I've never seen this kid before in my life. I have no clue who he is. He's like, he's going to Kennesaw. Should get to know him. And then met him the first day and then watched him pitch for the first time. And that's when I knew he was a psychopath after that.
And what was your first impression of Tony there, Richard?
So same thing with whenever I got set up for there, because when I got a scholarship to go there, I was like, all right, I'm a starter. It's like Derek Simmons was like, he was our coach at the time. He was just saying that, you're just going to go there, get a couple innings, whatever. I've got a couple other guys out there, Tony and Griffin, and we're just like, they're cool guys, just hang out with them, whatever. And I think the first day I showed up there, I think we were taking BP on the field, and you and Griffin were out in right field. Just like, I don't know, you guys were just shitting around out there. So I just went over there, I guess, rolled up, just try to fit in as much as I can and not trying to talk too much and, just wanted to, I guess, kind of ease into it, so to speak.
I know that for a fact. I obviously, for those who don't know, my roommate right now is Brad Applin, former pitcher for the Waves as well, 2-year standout with the Waves, one of their top bullpen arms.
Standout.
Setup guy for Richard Lovelady, if I remember correctly. He had the 7th or 8th, and you got the 9th inning pretty much every single game that we had a lead. Pretty sure you may have set the Waves record for appearances with, I think, 28 appearances in 30 nights or something like that, some crazy stat. How was that, meeting someone like Brad Applin from Rhode Island, who's a total different personality than what you're used to and where you're coming from, and he was one of your best friends that summer?
Yeah. So the whole atmosphere of summer ball was kind of new to me, just in general. That's my first time ever living with a host family. I didn't know them, they didn't know me, sort of thing. We're kind of just just not really thrown into it, but you got to kind of adapt and adjust to their entire new family as well, because you're getting entered in their family and whatnot. But it was kind of cool because I loved the whole aspect of Rhode Island, where you could drive freaking 3-4 miles, and be by the water. Everything was just right there, and everything was so close. I enjoyed URI's campus as well, because we went over there and shot basketballs a couple times, and went inside the you got a giant batting cage in there too. Yeah. We used to go around and just screw around in there, man. Play. You got to have a ping pong table as well.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just such a relaxed feeling when you were there. It was just like, man, this feels like a great atmosphere to be around. I'm just thinking, because I'm not wasn't going to Kennesaw yet, but I was like, man, I hope this is what college is going to be like. It's going to be awesome. But no, man, Bird is unbelievable, man.
I played. Yeah, shut up, Richard. I played a lot of summer ball. Like growing up, every single summer I was playing. So I've had a ton of host families before, but the Rileys, man, they were easily the best family I've ever had. As soon as I got there, I met Kim and she was like, "Yo, what do you want for dinner?" As soon as I got there, anything I ever needed or wanted, they were right there for me. So I really enjoyed staying with the Rileys. They gave me a key, and then basically,
And they've kind of followed you, right? They've come and seen you on the road.
yeah. So every year since then, I've seen them at least one weekend or so, at least. And
That's
they
awesome.
come like even at Kennesaw, they came up to a couple games, and then in pro ball too, because a lot of times I play up north. They're always comes to games. Like last year, they saw me for a weekend, so we stay connected. Text. I send them a Mother's Day card. Like I love
That's
those
awesome.
people. Yeah, love those people for sure.
Teacher's pet.
Hey,
Mother's Day card. That's your mother.
yeah, man, you got to do it.
Okay.
You gotta do it, Richard.
You
Okay.
got to.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
So my experience with the Snow family, Doug and Sherry, they had two boys that were both playing baseball as well. One was a left-handed pitcher. I want to say it is.
Well, let me shock your brain here. They're both going to the same college. Ryan just committed to West New England too. So Zach this was his freshman year at West New England, right field, first baseman. Now his brother just committed this year. He's a senior in high school. They'll both be playing for the same college together. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty lit.
You know what's crazy is I could picture that because they were kind of two peas in a pod. They were kind of inseparable kind of a thing. And anytime I'd wake up and they were home, she's gonna kill me for saying this, but we would play wiffle ball in the house. Thankfully, but no, dude, they treated you like you were you were one of their sons basically. We went out in the boat, we went tubing, had a great time. We went out over by the what's that place? What's that that place we all met up for like a end of the year dinner, whatever it was. What was that? It's like
oh god,
210,
like a little
oyster bar?
bridge, like the building.
yeah, it was 210.
210 oyster
Yeah,
bar.
so we went out there probably about 3 or 4 miles off the coast, and we just laid down some like umbrella rigs and just swept the bottom of the ocean, basically picking up striped bass. And it was a blast. It literally was, because it was like, for your time being there, they made you feel so comfortable and feel so relaxed to be able to open up and just hang out with them. And when I was at Boston this year, they came out to watch the game. I think they watched the first game. I think I pitched in the second game, but they stayed for the whole game, enjoyed it, and they were just, like I said, it was my first host family experience. It was probably definitely my best.
For sure. Yeah, my host family took me kayaking too. Like I ain't never done that before, obviously. But but yeah.
Yeah, so touch on that for a minute. What were some things you've never done before that you did in Rhode Island?
Boom. Never had oysters before.
Like 'em?
Not a fan. Never been kayaking before. Never been fishing. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I've never swam like where do we go? What's that, like the island that you can
Block
take a
Island?
ferry to? Block
Block
Island.
Island.
When we were
Block Island.
there, yeah, when we were there, they had like seals and sharks swimming around in the water, bro. And I ain't never done that before. So that shit was different. Not gonna lie to you.
What about you, Richard? What have you not done before you came to Rhode Island?
Ooh. Some good stuff or bad stuff?
Good stuff.
Okay. Man, that's tough. I mean, the only thing I could really say, like, is basically, like, I've done all that, the fishing, the tube and all that, but it's like being able to visit that entire, like, New England, like, area, like the entire up, down, the entire northeast.
And we talk about that all the time as a league, how important it is for you guys, like, to guys that have never been to New England, to go and see Mount Philly, Vermont, go see Sanford, Maine, go see Danbury, Connecticut.
Yeah.
So, like, for you guys, that's something that was just like you were like kind of in awe of some of the cities you got to see, and towns and ballparks. Every single ballpark in New England Collegiate Baseball League is unique.
Yeah.
You play in Newport. I don't think any of you have played in a ballpark like that ever in your life, and still you haven't played in a ballpark like that.
Oh my goodness, no.
Have not. No.
That
Those ballparks, they all have like crazy history behind them. And like it's something that I have not seen anywhere else. Like even in pro ball, I've never seen some places like Newport, you know?
Bro, I'm almost positive I gave up a home run to center field in Newport, but it wasn't a home run. I think it just got stuck in the tree that's hanging over the fence, to be honest. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So again, we're gonna stay with that summer real quick. Baseball wise, what were some big things that you had as a takeaway that summer that were able to help you and kind of progress you in your baseball career?
For me personally, I feel like I kind of learned how to pitch a lot better up there. Cause like before I kind of just grip it and rip it, just let it fly. But the pitching coach, oh my God, what was his name?
Coach Q?
Coach Q.
Oh my God. Yes. Love that man. Bro, he really sat me down and like we actually talked about pitching and how to like do different things with changeups and sliders and stuff. And I really think that helped me a lot. Because I was a lot better once I left Rhode Island than before I got there. You know what I mean?
What about you, Richard? What happened in your time here?
So like I was saying before with the whole coming in as a starter and they just wanted me to get innings in, that is literally where I transitioned into the reliever role and like managed how to, hey, you got 1-2 innings and just basically blow it out, man. Just like, just let it eat, not even hold back. That's literally where I kind of learned to be a reliever and to get in that kind of role, that mindset that, hey, you can go today, you can go tomorrow, you can go one day off, one day on. That's where it literally helped me even prepare me for Kennesaw, because when I came there, I went right into the bullpen role, so it wasn't like a shock of anything like, oh shoot, I've never done this before. But it was like, I know for a fact, it was like, it was one of our first trips. I think I came in for the first time being a reliever, and I was just like, oh, okay, whatever, man, let's get into this, and it was just like, I think I got walked off on, and all I could think of is that this is like the terriblest thing ever. This is literally like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, I got to come into a situation with people on base, and the game can end because I get up a hit, and I'm like, God, this sucks, you know what I'm saying? But then once I embraced that entire aspect about it, the fact that like I can literally come in every single day and be a part of every single game and impact it anyway, that's where I really kind of like focused in and really honed in on the fact that, you're only going to be out here for 30-40 minutes max, whereas if you're a starter, you're going to be there for about a couple hours. Really take advantage of that time that you have out there to really get yourself ready, not only for for playoffs, we got to playoffs obviously, but also get yourself ready for, what's to come when you go to Kennesaw. So, I mean, it really helped.
So we're going to stick with that real quick, with that mental side. So, like, Tony, when you're going into a start, what's going through your head? Like, what are you thinking about when you're getting ready for your start that day in the morning, in your pregame bullpen? Like, what's your mindset in that role?
So when I wake up, I usually wake up early on my game days. Like, I'm not even trying to, but just like I'm already anxious. Like, I want to get the day going. So really, I just try to stay chill and just relax like throughout the day. And then I got to eat Chick-fil-A before I pitch every time. Got to do it.
I was going to ask one of the questions, not to interrupt you. Did you ever have the opportunity to get Chick-fil-A during your time with the Ocean State
Chick-fil-A
Wiz?
wasn't here when you were here, I don't think.
Chick-fil-A was not there. And I didn't start doing that Chick-fil-A thing until my junior year at Kennesaw, because we had one in our student center. So thankfully I wasn't doing it up there. Otherwise I would have been screwed.
Now what do you do if you're starting on a Sunday?
On a Sunday?
What do you do then?
I go to Chick-fil-A on Saturday. I go on Saturday, throw that thing in. No, I'm playing. No, if I throw on a Sunday, like I'll switch it up, just like make breakfast or whatever. But usually I try to do the same routine,
So what's your order?
My order?
Yeah.
Well, 2 chicken sandwiches, cheese on them, no pickles.
Spicy or regular?
Just regular, because I don't want to, I don't want to mess my stomach up. And then I get large fry lemonade. All right, but I don't drink the lemonade. It's so weird. Like, I get it every single time, and I've never drinking it once. I always just drink water for some odd reason. But like, I always have to get it, but I never drink it. So that's
all right. So we're past lunch now. Where we're going?
So
where's our head going from here?
Head go boom. Throw on some swaggy. You got to have a swaggy fit. Make sure the neck is not empty on game day. Go to the field, just get stretched out, loosen up a little bit, whatever. Go out to the field, and like my bullpens before the game, I really don't like. I don't let it carry too much weight because like I'll have a terrible bullpen, have a great game, have a great bullpen, terrible game. You know, you never really know. So I just kind of just get my arm loose in the bullpen, get ready to go, and then.
So you're on the mound. You just got your 7 or 8 warm up pitches, and you're looking at home plate, and the umpire gives you one of these.
Mm-hmm.
What's that thought process right there? What's that last thought? That deep breath? What's in your mind there?
This team's screwed. Like that's literally what I think. As soon as they say play ball, I'm like, this first batter, I'm about to embarrass him, and then that's how I start the game. First pitch,
you have that like Marcus Stroman attitude, kind of with the obviously you have the Dibrell shuffle. I know Stroman's got the shimmy. You got the Dibrell shuffle, which we've seen on many clips. When you get a strikeout, you're gonna dance your way out there and let them know that. I love that stuff.
Yeah, first pitch of the game. It's obviously a fastball. I'm throwing it as hard as I can. It doesn't matter. I have to. That's how I get ready to go. And then
until they prove they can hit it.
That's what and I've given up first pitch of the game bombs, and they suck. But like I've only given up like 3 in my entire life. So I'm letting that thing
the numbers
rip.
Game.
Yeah, like I'm letting that thing rip. If I strike you out, I'm gonna let you know about it. If you hit a home run off me, you let me know about it. No problems. Let's keep it going.
So are you a pitcher who likes a bat flip?
It hurts when you look at it. Like when it's off you, it hurts. But like I do enjoy a good bat flip. You know what I mean?
All right, so now we're gonna flip the switch here. Now, Richard, you show up to the ballpark. What's your day like? You obviously don't know when you're pitching.
Right.
You have probably by the minute you get to the ballpark, you probably have 6 hours before you have to touch a baseball. Like, take us through your routine there.
Yeah. So we have a game at 7. We typically get to the ballpark around 1:30 to 2 to eat whatever you want.
What's your pregame meal here? Because I know we talked to Yankee Stadium about what Yankee Stadium had and the best spread in the world. Like,
I mean,
what's the Richard Lovelady? What do you look for?
You can't compare any of the Yankee Stadium food to even your home clubs, man. It's not fair. Even if you're the away team, it's just not even fair, man.
Now, people don't know about this. Like, there's probably like 1% of the world that knows about what goes on underneath their cafeteria. So you want to just tell the fans and tell the people what that's like?
So let's just go with there's a lot of tunnels that are secretly hidden to where our bus rolls into where people don't really know about. Obviously, I think it's really cool the fact that you literally every game we get to walk underneath the stadium. I think it's just one of the things that you literally get to take in, and you could, if you look out as soon as you get off the bus, as soon as you go into the tunnel, there's always a door or something open, and you can just look out and just look into the field. So what I've been doing every game, every new stadium I go to the very top seat in the very middle of home plate, and I take a photo of it. And I got about 9 or 10 so far of just amazing views, just to see what it's like, being up here, and just the entire city backdrop, everything about it is it's unreal. It honestly is. But it's like, those are like the little things that, you can take from being up there. Like, obviously you might get shelled the game before or whatever, but the next day you're coming out, you're like, I don't care. It's a new day. That's the way it's supposed to be, because if you don't have that kind of mentality, then you're not going to be around long at all, especially with it being a reliever. You can pitch every day, like we talked about, every day or every other day. You got to have a clean slate every day. It doesn't matter if you went out and struck out 3 guys in a row in 9 pitches. It's a new day the next day. You come out and you might come out and not even get a single out, So it's like you got to stay locked in always, but you got to always live in the moment, especially up there, because, man, it's compared to there in AAA, it's, oh my goodness. And they say it's a big jump. It's a huge jump, man. It's just different as far as like food goes, security goes, everything. As far as you come to the field, you don't touch any of your stuff. All your stuff's already unloaded. All your gloves are set up right. Everything's good. All you got to worry about is taking your clothes off the hanger and putting them on. You know what I'm saying? And it's just unreal how much you're spoiled up there. And then when you go down, it's kind of like, man, this ain't it, man. This really ain't.
You're just touching
back on those touching back on those pictures that you mentioned that you take, do you have a favorite backdrop that you've taken so far?
Busch Stadium, because you have the Golden Arch thing going over. They have a nice little party street.
Budweiser party deck.
Yeah, right behind it. Literally, there's like a whole street of just like bars and bars on tall buildings. It's just, man, it's unreal. But I would honestly say the best stadium / atmosphere I've ever played in was probably the Twins, man. They go absolutely insane, especially when one of the dudes hits a bomb. Oh my God. They set off the siren, bro. Oh my goodness, man.
Didn't they hit the most home runs this year, the Twins?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
Scary.
let me ask you this. So last year, obviously, you played under Ned Yost, correct?
Yep.
All right. So you're sitting in the bullpen. It's probably the 5th, 6th inning. You guys are probably up 2 or 3 runs, and the phone rings about the 7th, and you're sitting there, and they say, "Hey, Love, get going." What's your initial reaction there? How do you go from sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the game to getting in that killer mindset and ready to go, get your arm ready and go attack some guys out there?
Yeah. So I had to transition that too, as far as like what I do pregame routine and stuff like that, because in AAA, they call you the phone, they'll call you like an inning or 2 before, like, hey, you're gonna have this inning. So it's kind of nice, but then when you're in there, it's like, heck, if a guy gets in a jam and there's a great situation out there, you could be in the 2nd, 3rd inning. So typically what I do is I usually go and I'll hit like a foam roller around like the 5th, do some bands around the 6th inning. As soon as the phone rings, I'm kind of like, take a jacket off, put the glove on, get a ball, and pretty much get rolling into it. Because it's like you got about, as far as timing goes and the amount of pitches you get, as soon as they call, man, it's like at the most, it's like a batter and a half is all he's got left. So you gotta sprint to the mound and get going. Basically, you gotta have a 3-pitch mix or 2-pitch mix, whatever you have. You just gotta make sure whatever you do, that you have a feel for your off speed on the mound in the bullpen, because you're gonna have 8 pitches on the mound in the game mound. You're gonna find the fastball in the game mound. You know what I'm saying? So that's like one of the biggest things, honestly, because if you go out there, you don't have either. So I'll tell you this, my debut. Oh my goodness, I just flew in from Memphis back to Omaha. We got in at like freaking 2:00. Okay. And I got told I was going up and they have a game tomorrow at 7. So I had to get up at 8:00, drive to Kansas City, and basically, put on a suit, get ready to go. And, in my mind, I'm thinking like, hey, I just threw yesterday, had a travel day. No way they're going to throw me. So I'm like telling my parents, because my parents just got back from Memphis. So I had to turn around and tell them, hey, I got called up just as they were pulling into the driveway. I felt so bad, man, because I was just like, they were like, hey, do you want us to fly? I was like, no, don't fly, because there's no way I'm going to pitch this first game. There's no way. Man, sure enough, that phone rings. And I promise you, man, like Tony was saying with the bullpens being bad, I don't think I threw a single strike in this bullpen, man. Like, I don't think there was a single time, like the balls were up, the balls were in the dirt. Man, I could not find it at all. But then when I stepped on the mound, it was like, you know what? Yeah, you're up here to prove something, man. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. And thankfully I was able to go out there and, have a real quick inning, couple strikeouts, fly ball, and got out of there, man. It was
that was one of our later questions, but like, what would take us through that moment where you literally towed the rubber, first MLB pitch, and you're looking around and you just have that kind of aha moment that all that was worth it for you to grind through and get there?
Yeah, and honestly, the only thing I can compare to the moment was getting married, honestly, because like there's no other moment that you feel, maybe the playoffs, but there's no other moment that you feel your body just like, your adrenaline's so high, man. You're tired. You got chills going down your entire body, and you're like, hey, buddy, you gotta calm down and be relaxed. Get ready. We got a job to do. But once I got the last more pitch and the guy stepped into the batter's box, I remember my bullpen coach, Vance Wilson. He told me, as soon as you go out there, before I even walked out to the mound, he's like, hey, before you go out there, take a deep breath and look around and, man, just take it all in, because you only have one debut. You only have one first pitch, stuff like this. These are things that you kind of take in and you really you're really going to cherish. And, I kind of stepped off the mound and I kind of looked around. And thank God I'm not one of the people that would pass out because, man, that was a great opportunity. But, man, I was just in awe because, like, it was the first month of the Major League season. And I'm like, I'm already here. And I'm just like, oh, my goodness, like, this is really happening. And, as soon as I stepped on the rubber, get ready to go, I do the whole smash of the glove in the hand and all that stuff. I was locked in, ready to go, man. I didn't care what happened. I was not going to give up. I was not going to give in. This guy was getting screwed regardless. And it wasn't going to be because of the umpires. It was because of me.
All right. Real quick, thinking about that, first guy you faced, you remember who it was,
yeah,
what the scouting report was, and what you thought you were going to attack him with.
Malik Smith was the first guy I faced.
Well, fastest guys in the bigs, huh?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of debate out there. But as soon as he steps in, my first pitch literally was a fastball supposed to be away. I think I threw it to him back foot. Okay, so I'm thinking myself already. Oh shoot, man, the bullpen to now this. Then I'm thinking like, all right, screw that, man. Let's go. Let's lock it in. All right. Next thing goes fastball away, fastball in. Then I throw a disgusting slider. And as soon as I turn around, I'm just like, I'm like, all right, why aren't they throwing the ball around? Then I turn around back at the catcher and realize that they were throwing the ball over to the side because it was the first strikeout ball, and he was giving the ball back to me. I was like, oh shoot, I really just did this, man. Like, then we got hot hitting Santana coming up next, and this guy was just destroying pitchers, man, so early because you remember I think they were like 20-8 to start the season. Like, they were hot, man. They were really hot.
Yeah, the Mariners were meteoric at that start.
Yeah, and I was just like, it's like, all right, here comes the next guy. We go lefty, righty, then we went back to lefty. So righty come up, and it's just like fastball away. We go slider back foot. He takes it. And then I go slider again, but this time the slider backed up on me, and it stayed back door. And I kind of like paused there for a little bit. Next thing you know, I see the umpire moving his hand for strike 3, and I was like, all right, man, maybe this is maybe this is kind of easier than I thought. But then again, it's like, you can't really let up. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you had 2 outs or 1 out. And, when I got 2 outs, I'm like, okay, all right, shoot, we got this, man. Let's go. And the next guy, I go slider away. Who was it? Lefty. It wasn't Vogelbach. It was one of the bigger guys. I mean, who was that?
CJ Cron, or is he with the Angels?
No, I was thinking. I can't remember who it was. It's gonna kill me. But he was a bigger guy. He's an older guy too. But I know I threw first pitch.
It was Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce,
Jay Bruce, big guy.
First pitch slider to him. He took it. Next pitch, same thing, but I backed it up accidentally again. Jammed him on the bat, and it was a kind of like a middle between not hot but not slow kind of fly ball, a little lazy piece to left field. And he caught it, and I was just like, oh, shoot. And I walked into the dugout. Man, I walked back into the dugout, and I had my game face on, getting ready to go out again. Man, I kid you not, dude. I got ready to go up to the steps after we made 3 outs. After hitting, I walked up, getting ready to go back out in the field. He's like, whoa, you're done. And I was like, oh. All right. we sat back down the bench, man, and just took it all in. Yeah, it was just like I said, it was just that adrenaline going. You're just like, shoot, hey, I don't care if I got to get 3 more outs. Let's do this, man. I'm ready to go.
That's funny you say, though, the adrenaline, because I think that all of us, including Tony, and I think everyone at Ocean State, I think that one of our favorite moments of your first year in the bigs was you striking out Harper. Because that was kind of like, I don't know if you probably didn't even realize it, but the Twitter world and the social media world went nuts that, we all know from, Ocean State and all the people down here at South Kingstown that you're the real deal. But all of a sudden the Twitter world went nuts that you were the real deal and you were for real, that you struck Harper out in literally 3 pitches.
It was, so before that, though, I think it was 3 straight balls because I was so nervous because it was like, you see a guy step into the box, you're just like, okay. Like I saw him like playing because our bullpen's in right field, right field. And he's playing right field that game. So I'm like, looking behind him, like, whatever, cool. If he comes up, whatever, it's like same guy. Like, you're a big leaguer, he's a big leaguer, same kind of aspect. But then when he steps in the box, it's like, oh shoot, this is Bryce Harper, like this guy is like all you've ever heard about growing up. This kid that was a phenom. He was just unbelievable, and he just cruised through the levels just like he was, and got up here, and now he's making a lot of money, and it's just like at that point you gotta, once again, it's almost like your debut. You gotta lock it in. You gotta realize he's got a weakness as much as you do. We had a good scouting report coming into the game, and funny thing is we always talked about, like, leave anything middle, it's going to be 1-0 them. And Tony always laughs about it because it's funny, but that pitch can't be any more middle.
It's
It
middle.
It couldn't be. I think Harper's helmet fell off because it was so much middle. He was shot.
So what's the scouting report on Harper though?
Middle
go
heaters,
into that game.
2 miles an hour. Right down by him.
So it's funny because we had a scouting report. I think it was like he was 3 for like 230 something at bats off of outside pitches. Okay, so our whole game plan was just stay away. And he was, because I don't know what it was, but he just could not hit opposite field. And if he did, he would pull it, consistently pull it away. And I remember that's what he ended up doing his second at bat against me. I threw him a slider, but he didn't wait. He jumped on me right away. Next time we faced each other, first pitch, I threw him a slider away, and he pulled it to right field for a flyout. So, I mean, it was just like he does not want to go that way with it, But people fail to mention I did get Mike Trout to hit a dub play, and I thought that was more cooler.
Yeah, he did do that too. We forgot about that. We left that off the tape. So now we're going to switch this, talk about the iconic, facing Harper. Tony, what was it like playing with Tim Tebow?
Oh man, Tim Tebow, young Timmy. Tebow's he's a great guy. Like, obviously, he's the same dude that you see on TV. He's the same dude in person, like super nice, super down to earth, normal guy. He honestly, I will say this, he was one of the bigger dudes at camp. But we never actually played on the same team. In spring training though, I got a funny story. Hopefully we can edit this out after. But boom, I'm pitching against some of the older dudes in spring training, and he's one of the dudes hitting. I talked to Dom Smith before. He's like, bro, like, don't worry about it. Like, he can only hit one spot. He can only hit up and away. That's like the only spot he can hit. I was like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna work inside then the whole time. I get out there. The pitching coach is like, hey, I know you've never thrown a two-seamer in your life. Let's try to work on it right here. Bruh, I let this two-seam go, and it goes straight up and away. Tebow hit this ball so hard, no one on the field even looked to see where it went. I was the only person who moved. I look back. He hit it 3 fields over in left center. Bro, when I tell you, I almost took my jersey, my hat, my cleats off for the last time. Like, that was almost the last time I played. It was terrible. I got so much, bro. They were talking so much smack in the locker room after. Like, it was terrible. But, he's a good dude, though. He probably doesn't even remember that, honestly.
He definitely does remember that. That's for sure.
Bro, I'm just blessed it didn't make SportsCenter. I was so scared.
I was going to say, I think I saw that on a highlight tape.
Yeah, you got to think a ball going that far is going to be on the internet.
That was probably me.
If you're lucky, we'll find that tape for you.
Bro, I hope we never see it. I do have a video of me striking him out, though. So
you have dirt back on him.
Yeah. I'm going to send that to SportsCenter if I ever see it on SportsCenter. You know what I mean? Got to.
Now, Tony, we talked about some of Richard's high-profile outings. You were fortunate enough last summer to start the Florida State League All-Star Game. Take us through what was going through your mind during that.
Oh, so I was kind of a late addition to the All-Star team. Like, I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought I got snubbed, honestly. And then we were playing the Phillies, and boom, go out there, get banged on for like 7 runs. And my coach pulls me. He's like, hey, don't even worry about it, bro. You got the All-Star game coming up. I was like, all right, cool. Get to the All-Star game, do all the festivities, whatever, blase. we're doing the home run derby, and it like goes way later than it's supposed to. So the game's supposed to start at 7. It's like 6:45 when the thing ends. We're walking back to the locker room. The head coach comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, you want to start today?" I was like, I mean, I guess, bro. Like, I'll do it. So I literally run in there, change my clothes, like so fast. Don't even get a massage. No Chick-fil-A. Like, terrible. But I go out there, and I'm in the bullpen. They got like all the fans are right next to the bullpen. First throw, sail right off the umpire's ankle. The umpire's at home plate. I sail it, drills him in the ankle. He looks down, bro. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Next one straight into the dirt. I'm like, oh, I think I threw like 2 sliders. I was like, yeah, we're good on that, bro. And I just went out. I was like, yeah, not doing it. But then the All-Star game was cool. Like all the dudes, I know all the dudes that I was facing from like during the season. So it was pretty cool. 3 up, 3 down.
Now, if I remember, now, do you remember facing Chris Hess?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he get a knock off you, or did you strike him out?
So
for those who don't know, Chris Hess is a former Wave a year later than Tony, so kind of full circle of facing each other in pro ball a year later.
So it goes even fuller than that. So he's a good player. He's a good player, and like I know he does not like me because I would do anything to get in someone else's head, like during the game, right? From being in Rhode Island, mutual friends, I met his girlfriend. So before every time I played the Yankees, I'd follow his girlfriend on Instagram. She'd follow me back every single time I did it. And then so I knew he hated me already, so he wanted to just hit a bomb off me. But I mean, he's probably got a couple hits, but for the most part, I got the best of him, you know. But good player, though, for sure.
So now we're going to, speaking of good players and this and that, we're going to make you guys do a little superlatives here and kind of go back and forth real quick. So, Love, give us one word to describe Tony and why.
Electric. I would say it's got to do with the way he strikes out people, the way he just finishes, and the way he just carries himself when it's not even like his turn to pitch. He just electric in the dugout. Always up, always throwing people in the air, you know, just like get up. Like there was times where, you know, swear words be letting loose in the dugout because people were just sitting on a bench and stuff, man. It was just like he's just electric. He's just a great team guy that you just always want to have in your dugout, man, for honestly.
Tony, same thing to you. Describe Richard.
Intense. I remember the first time I watched him warm up, they called down there like, hey, Richard, like you're gonna go in this inning. So he gets up, he takes like some Advil or something, pops 2 Advils, chugs some water, slams the water down immediately. I'm like, what's going on? First ball, throws it as hard as he can, way past the catcher. He was like, I'm ready, get out. And so, I'm ready. Tell him I'm ready right now, like 4 pitches. And that's literally how he pitched all the time, full intensity every single time. Didn't matter, bad day, good day, if he's tired. He gave everything. So that's really like what I see every time Richard pitches. Is like.
Now, would you say his intensity not only goes to him playing, but also like his scouting reports and whatnot, and how to get guys out?
100%. 100%.
Which, I'm actually gonna give a funny story. Just a personal between me and Richard. So like last summer, it's actually really funny. Obviously, I'm a huge baseball guy and I read up on all these things. And of course, I was back in New York after we got knocked out of the playoffs. And I'm watching probably 10 Met games because for some reason the Yankees on the West Coast and I was going to bed early, whatever. I gave Richard a scouting report and had a pitch to Alonso, Conforto, and a couple guys in the top of the Mets order. And you can go back and I screenshot a conversation. And I'm sitting there watching the game with my dad and a couple buddies, and I'm showing them like me and Richard going back and forth and how to get these guys out. I don't know if Rich remembers this, but the outing, Alonso went backside double where, you know, he had to get the fastball in, but it ran middle away. 2 RBI double, and had to get Conforto out. He had to go bury the slider away. He left it hanging, and Conforto hit a full side double too. And literally the exact opposite of the scouting report we went over. And you can just see it on his face. And I was just like, man, and like you look back at it, and it's just like, come on, man, it's right there. So the intensity thing is big. Yeah. You remember that one?
Yeah, I don't think I even got a single out.
No, I don't think you did either, but we talked about it. You were prepared.
What's terrible is I came in to get a guy out of a jam, and he had guys on base, and I think all of them scored, even mine. Hey,
Yeah,
that was a
man,
rough
those
patch,
runs.
man. I was leaving. That's what honestly, man. That's what hurt me is leaving the slider backed up when I didn't need it to, and then the two seam that was supposed to be down and away always went up. Man, guys just I don't know what it is, but it's like a freaking basketball. They're just like, oh, thank you, you know.
So back to these superlative questions. All right, two questions here. What song is in your headphone while you're getting loose? Not in the bullpen, but just pregame. Like what do you want in your ears right there? What do you want in your head?
Wait, I didn't hear that second question. What did you say?
What do you want in your head? What do you want in your your pregame song if you can pick it? Not your walkout song, but the one that's in your head, the explicit one that gets you going.
I am a Drake fan for sure. It's what is, bro? I just listened to it today. Hold on, you go first, Richard. While I find this.
You said explicit songs?
Anything that gets you going, really. Anything that pumps you up.
I'll be honest. I probably sent Tony a Snapchat of this or somebody. But the song "Lose My Mind" by Jeezy. Wow, I'll be going crazy.
That's a good one. That song gets people going crazy.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Mine's Worst Behavior by Drake. Just
it's a throwback, huh?
Yeah, just get like, I feel like just revenge every time he sings it. Like I gotta get revenge on like my ex-girlfriends for some reason. And I'm gonna get revenge by striking these dudes out. That's just what goes through my head.
That's a good motivation right there.
Yeah.
Now what's your 2020, what was your walkout song gonna be? Or will it be?
Mine was gonna be Prices by Lil Uzi Vert.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Little banger. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, I have. And now all the new music coming out, you might have to reconsider that one.
There's so many that just came out. Like all of Tory Lane's new album. Oh my God. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
You trying to make a baby in the stands, man? Tory Lane?
Bruh, have you heard his new album? It's just straight bangers.
Oh.
That's funny.
What do
you gotta think about it. Yeah, you gotta think about the beats that I like or like songs, any song from Barter 6, I will bump to any day, any time of the year.
For sure.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of hard beats with like Young Dolph and Key Glock that I will just bang to, like a Dumb and Dumber album. I'll smack to that. And then I don't know, Tory Lanez is kind of. I think the last song I heard him sing. Let me look this up. The last song I heard this man sing, I think it was a love song or something.
I mean, he's an R&B singer, so you're probably right. But he does have some bangers. Like his whole new album is nothing but just head bops. You know what I mean?
Go crazy. Let's see what we got. Man, I can't even find it. This man done made 800 songs in the last 2 years.
You're going to pick one as your walkout.
Me? No chance. I would not pick any of that.
What's your walkout? 2020.
Same thing. Hey, same thing it's been since the waves, baby. We got Led Zeppelin, Cashmere.
Oh, so all the way since your summer with Ocean State, still your walkout.
Stay the same, man.
Does Brad Applin know two verses to that or no?
I don't know. He might know it. But what's funny is, hey, the funny thing is
leaving the mound when you're coming in, right?
Yeah.
He probably hits the first guy, gets a strikeout, walks the next guy, 2 guys on. Sorella's going, Love. You just come in, get the last 2 outs, we get a W.
Man,
I've seen it happen many times.
I'm telling you, bro, to think about, like, now that I think about it, you mentioned that, like, being, like, used every day. Man, I really was thrown, like, every day. Anytime you play
availability, best ability is availability.
Hey, Newport, I wanted to be in there. Anytime we played Newport, man, I don't care if it was 3 games here, then go back over on the other side of the city and play 3 more. I wanted to be in there, man. I hated Newport.
Well, I'm sure you're in the same boat now. When you guys got a lead, you want the ball. You're sitting there antsy.
And Mystic.
That moment.
But there's a reason why I hated Mystic.
Why was that?
We'll leave it at that one.
Buddy.
Favorite
playing was he?
Favorite teammate you guys had?
Oh man.
We'll go 2-part question. Favorite teammate with the Waves and favorite teammate during your professional career, and why?
Favorite teammate with the Waves. I mean, now I'd say it's Richard, obviously, but let me try to think of someone I met while I was there. Bro, it'd probably have to be my favorite player, Murphy. What was his first name? Eric
Jeff Murphy. Jeff
or Matt
Murphy.
Murphy. Matt Murphy. Matt Murphy was my favorite person on that team. Every time he pitched through a fastball, he'd recoil, and me and him would have competitions to see who could recoil harder on a fastball. He was a favorite dude to watch pitch, and he's so like chill, and he lived in my neighborhood, so he was probably my favorite dude.
What about you, Richard?
I had two, man. It was either between Chucky or Nick Dawson. I thought Dawson was just funny as heck, man. Little guy, he's just real scrappy. He was hilarious to me.
Forgot about Chucky. My favorite from my professional career is a little kid. His name's Marcel Renteria, and he's like 5'8", 5'9" on a good day, $165, up to 99 miles an hour. And it's like what? So he just slings it, and that's why I love him.
Who's your favorite, Richard?
Trying to think. Trying to run.
Give me a couple.
Yeah. Man. It's between either Nick or Malcolm. We hang out every day, basically. Man, those two guys, both were my draft class, and we kind of like progressed. Not the same time, but sort of in a way. But they were just two of the chillest dudes that, like, you know, like, it didn't matter where you were. They were the same people, regardless if they were in AA and you were in rookie ball, man. They were just always chill, man. Always just kept it real with you. So
those are the two dudes I met at your wedding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool dudes. Those are cool
So
dudes for sure.
Let's talk about that for a minute. So first of all, congratulations on the wedding. That was a big off-season plans of yours. And ironically, you're in your groomsmen, you had what, 4 out of the 5 were
4 to 5 were race guys, right?
Yeah.
Got to do it.
What was that like?
The bachelor party or the wedding?
The wedding.
No, we can't. We ain't talking about no bachelor party, cuz.
Oh goodness. No, man, it was honestly great to just see these guys, man. I ain't seen these guys since Kennesaw, man. And it was good just to have them all out there. And I mean, because when I was at Kennesaw, man, these were literally my close circle. I slept on these guys' couch in their 4-bedroom dorm, like every other weekend. It seemed like every time Tennessee played football, I was sleeping there, you know, for obvious reasons. But it was just like these were the guys I hung out with and spent so much time with, man. I just, you know, I ain't seen them in a long time, and like, you know, it just meant to be. It meant to have you guys out there, man. I'm so glad you guys were all able to make it, man.
We were thinking about sending you guys some jerseys and like taking a picture with the Waves jerseys, you know, just kind of make a full circle for you, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to the your teammate question real quick. I know I asked you this off the record, but we need to hear this for the viewers. You had the privilege of having 3 guys on the field behind you that borderline are the fastest guys in professional baseball. You had Billy Hamilton, you had Raul Mondesi, and you had Mackenzie Terrence Gore.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 of them right there have to run a 6.2 60, maybe a 6.1 60, 6.3 60, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I would honestly still say that if I had to pick someone to steal bases on a regular, it'd probably be Mondesi. But if I was picking someone to do a straight-out sprint, God, man, I only say this. I would say Gore is going to be faster running-wise, miles per hour. But distance-wise, I feel like Billy, he's got longer legs. He's just going to stride out farther.
But how is that for you? I mean, you just give him a fly ball and you can start walking back to the dugout. You don't have to see it land.
No, hey, they fly, man. They honestly do. They get to balls that you know you don't really expect guys to get to. Like there were multiple times that we had like the Bermuda Triangle over between left field, third base, and shortstop, and Mondesi's already camped under it. Right, other guys would just be like, you're looking at it because anytime he went out for a pop fly, I knew for sure he was going to catch it. But other guys, I was staying on the mound a little bit. I'm not going to say any names, but I was staying on the mound, not trying to be that guy that has to come back out there, But it seemed like, anytime a ball was just absolutely pissed on, man, they were right there. Or, or they got to it so quick that they were able to get it in before God made a double out of it, And, speed is just like it's such a precious thing in our game, man, that if you got it, man, it's a huge tool. It really is.
That's awesome. Now, give us here, what's your favorite playing memory with the Wave? So go back to that summer. Think about an in-game moment that you had and take us back through that.
Oh God. How about the moment where I was completely checked out on host family night, and I decided the guys decided it was a funny joke for them to come down because I was already not pitching that day, and they thought it was a funny idea. I think it was George Capon who decided to come down and say, "Hey, Q said get hot, get hot," and I'm sitting there like, "Oh my God, this is going to be a disaster." Okay. And I think I got on the mound and got ready to throw one pitch before they go, "Yeah, we're just playing with you."
You were hot.
Oh, I was so hot. I went back to shoot people with water guns.
That's funny.
And for you, Tony?
Oh man. The one that sticks out the most, so like I couldn't get any sleep like one night, right? And I got to start the next day, come to the field, super tired. And for some reason we had a ton of Monster energy drinks. Like we had a ton of them in a cooler.
In that cooler.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try this. So I drank 3 of them before the game. I drink 3 of them, right? I go out the first inning, and I'm just, like, blowing fastballs by people. I'm like, this is crazy. And Richard's behind it with the gun, right? And Richard comes in, and I just hear people whispering, blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, don't tell him, don't tell him. And Richard's like, no, I'm going to tell him. He's like, bro, you're 2-4 right now. Like, you're sitting 94. Like, you're just pumping heaters by him. And I was like, oh, really? So I go out there next inning, try to throw as hard as I can, get banged on. I was like, way to go, Richard. Way to go, that was probably my favorite memory. But yeah.
So take us back to that summer. What advice would you give to your younger self? So this is a 2-part question. We're going to ask for your younger self, and then for a guy who is playing for us this summer, or a guy that's getting into the draft right now. But the first part, what would you tell a younger Tony and a younger Richard now that you've gone through the process and, you were young at that time, going through life, going through baseball, trying to figure it out. And like you both said, you thought that summer being away from your coach and away from your family was like that time you figured out yourself and your body and your playing ability. But what would you go back and tell yourself with everything you know now?
I would tell myself, so like I put a lot of pressure on myself around the end of that season to like just try to perform because we made playoffs, we're playing Newport, all that stuff. I put so much pressure on myself, and I would just tell myself that it was still just summer ball. Like when I had a lot of fun, I was super laid back and just like went out there and just had a great time. And then I put way too much pressure on myself. So I just probably tell my younger self like, bruh, it's still just baseball, just playoff baseball. It's like you're still a pitcher, still the same dudes hitting. So probably just take some pressure off myself. So. Richard, what you got, man? Just look.
Man, honestly, you know what's crazy now that I think about it? I didn't have a slider when I went to Kennesaw. I didn't have a slider when I was at freaking Ocean State Waves. I'm just thinking about how I literally only threw fastballs, and how the heck did I not get tittied around in that league?
It blows my mind. I have no idea.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I also didn't throw a slider at Ocean State, so but
yeah, but you had to change up from hell.
Yeah, and I got that yucky, boy. I still got that yucky.
No, I would honestly, man, I would tell myself to, we had a great time when we were there, and we didn't ever, come close to ever. Well, take that back too. I would tell myself honestly, hey, develop a second pitch, because a fastball can only get you so far, man. It honestly can. And I don't care if you can dot it here or dot it there. If that's all it is, people can just sit on it and just wait on it. Honestly, I would tell myself just to, I should have used Q a lot more. Q helped me a lot with my timing, my separation, my delivery, everything. And that's I think that's where I want to say that's where I developed the little jump thing when I pitch. I think that's where it is. But really just if I could have literally listened, if I could have had one more week there, if I could have shipped off tomorrow and go to Rhode Island and say you're gonna play a week with all the same guys, man, I think I would have just really taken it in, man, honestly. Because I mean, that was, like I said, there's only a couple of times in your life where you just used to have the most fun in your life, man. And that JUCO ball and then pro ball, man, it's just, man, it's unreal. It honestly is, because like once that time's gone, man, it's can't get it back, man.
Can never go back. It sucks.
You know, and it's crazy. It honestly is, because I remember how much we hated Newport, and when we got there, man, I didn't know how much big enough. I didn't really know much about this like rivalry between you guys, and you know, it was just when you step there. I mean, they pack out the crowds every night, man. I didn't even know what a fog delay was, man. I didn't even think that was a real thing. But whenever we had a game where you couldn't even see second base from right field, man, couldn't even see nothing. You just gotta wait it out.
Yeah.
You know.
So now we're gonna take this question. We're gonna do the same question, but not to yourself, but to a younger Waves guy, someone who, let's say, is the same kind of player, whether it's like a lefty flamethrower or a righty starter that, you know, has the potential you guys had. You know, what would you do if you could sit them down, put their arm around you, maybe order some Muse, or, you know, take them somewhere out to eat down in South County? Like, what would the conversation and message be? Because both of you are pretty successful going through the ranks and, you know, gone through the process. What would you talk to them about?
I would just say, bro, take every day in, because like it's a whole summer. Granted, it's like 2-3 months, but it goes by so fast. It felt like I got up there the first day, and then it was like I'm leaving in 3 days because I got to go back to school. So I would just say, bro, take every day in, because like I personally would never get to go back and play Rhode Island baseball again. I'll never get to play for the Waves again. So just really take it in and like cherish that memory of playing for the Ocean State Waves is probably what I'd say.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I would just – it's the same thing. Like, literally, when you get there, you think that, like, you know, it's a snap, and it's literally 3 months already by you. So it's kind of like, man, that was, like, the greatest times. I think that literally those guys that, you know, might be kind of scared to venture off and kind of, like, hang out with their teammates, you know, they might not know them much, but I would really encourage them to really reach out to those guys or somebody they feel like they can hang around, you know, just hang out, because, I mean, there's so much stuff to do up there, man. It's unreal, honestly, how much stuff there is. And, you know, just to be able to take all that stuff in and all the – you guys still have that workout facility right there too, right?
Yeah.
That, man, we didn't get that workout facility till halfway through the season. Man, that workout facility was unreal. Man, it really was. And we got Q doing these little pull down things.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I remember telling him you're going to increase 2 to 4 miles an hour if you keep doing
I remember
this.
that.
I did that every day.
I remember that.
And did you?
Oh yeah, I did that stuff every day, hoping it was going to work, man. Because honestly, man, I didn't think much of it. I was like, all right, he's pitching coach. He knows more than I do. Heck, let's try it.
Did it work?
I mean, maybe.
It's part of the process, part of the journey. So we talked about pregame food earlier, postgame meal. What's your favorite postgame meal? Go for it.
Boom, steak and lobster. And I've only gotten that when the big leaguers are in town and they, like, you know, hook it up.
Surf and turf.
Yeah, I crush it, boy.
Oof. If I'm not pitching that day, and if I know I'm not pitching that day, I'll probably get like we got a really good chef that'll make us he'll make us a Philly cheesesteak, but he'll use A1 sauce on it. Never in my life have I heard of that, bro. And it's, oh my goodness, it's unreal. It's unreal. But like on a game day, man, I just kind of keep it simple. You know, get like a ham and cheese, little lettuce sandwich, and grab a bag of chips and get a little kombucha and then get going, man. So
there you go. Now, toughest guy you ever faced, go.
Bruh. It's Contreras, his little brother.
Contreras' younger brother.
Yeah, he plays for the Braves.
Yeah.
That kid, like, I don't know why I cannot get him out. It seemed like every at bat, it was a double or a triple every single time. And like I threw
William Contreras, right?
Yes, William. That dude. I don't know why. Like, he's not like, he's nothing crazy. He's not the best player I've ever seen, but cannot get that dude out for some reason. I don't know why.
I'll tell you two. I'm gonna go with Peter Alonso is probably the first one, because we had like a 7 or 8, 9 pitch at bat, and just him just fouling off my heart.
I remember that at bat, and they went backside off the foul line.
Man, I keep bringing it up, don't he?
I hate to see it.
You had to get it in under his hands, and you were good, but you just left the middle.
Middle. It only works on Bryce Harper. You know that.
You know what's crazy, man? Our scouting report was to throw him I think it was like up and in fastballs with righties, a good pitch. Man, I kid you not. The guy came in after me. He threw that same exact pitch, and that thing got sent into the bleachers. So, I mean, he was just on an unbelievable tear where it was like, I don't care if you execute or not. I feel like he was going to, he's going to find a way to get on base. But I would say look here, I had Cole Calhoun, man. Oh my God, this freaking guy, bro. Oh my goodness. He literally, his first at bat, I think we had like a big shift. We were playing up middle and threw him a slider away, and he hit it basically where a shortstop would be at and got on base. Next at bat, or the next time I faced him was the next day, man. And I swear I made it to, I was just, I mean, you ain't getting on base, man. You're not getting on base. Sure enough, man, this dude hits a ball to first base. I get over there to cover the freaking bag and drop the damn ball, man. Man, I'm telling you, man, he was just one of those guys that literally would just foul off anything. He was like one of those slap hitters. He just slap it until he got what he wanted, man. It was just like, come on, bro.
So he's a good hitter is what you're saying.
I mean, if that's what you call a good hitter.
That's crazy. But
yeah. Anybody got anything else?
No, I do have one little story I want to tell about my Ocean State days.
Do it.
So
Keep
boom.
it kosher.
So boom. My host mom has a nephew who's on the Newport Goals team, right? First baseman.
Oh, crap.
And we're playing them, right? And like he had just came over to the house. Like he ate dinner with us, like cool dude. Max Bierman, I want to say was his name. Cool dude.
Yeah.
Like had it figured out, lefty hitter. This man Richard throws 94 right into the side of his hand.
I was at that game actually.
Exploded his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Literally ended his career.
Well, they wanted to kill me, bro.
Talk about the most awkward car ride home with my host mom. Oh my God. Goodness gracious, bro. I felt so bad because Richard had been over at the house the whole summer.
Yeah.
Just ended their nephew's career. Like dinner was so awkward that night, man.
And he was at the dinner table eating with you.
So weird. So weird. His hand was black, honestly. It was so bad. Never played again, I don't think.
And that was one of those where Richard was like the scouting report was throw a fastball middle, and it just ran.
Mm-hmm. Ran straight up into him.
That's one of them. We had one at Kennesaw too later that year.
Forgot about that.
Oh man, Taylor Allen did the same thing. This man goes, I'm good. Walks first base. I kid you not, dude. I think it was the next day or later that night. This fool couldn't even grab a bat, man.
Our best hitter smoked him.
Smoked him.
And that was you. Something about that middle fastball just gets away from you, huh?
Oh yeah. Ain't nothing middle, man. Everything go away. I think I smoked Grant in the freaking helmet, didn't I?
I think you did dome him. You did dome him up. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think I domed him up, but he also smacked one back at my freaking toe, and I was bruised for a while, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to us. We're going to give you guys a little time here to, if you want to say something to your host families or your former teammates, you can give them a little shout out and see how everyone's doing. But you guys got your time here to talk to them and let them know, you know, they're going to tune in and check this out. So.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, shout out my boy, Matt Murphy, best recoil in baseball. Fastball Brad, throwing 88 by dudes. Shout him out too. Hey, Kihu, hey, stay chill, baby. Always getting me right. And shout out to the Riley family. Bob and Kim holding me down. Love those people.
Yeah, shout out to the Snow family for taking me in, man, embracing me as their own. That was real. That was huge. That was big time.
Was it cool when they came to see you at Fenway? What was that like?
Was. It was. The guy, I expected the kids be a little bit smaller. No, I think them kids are taller than me. I think they are literally taller than me. But no, man, it was man, just for anybody listening to this, future waves, whatever, man, take it in. Embrace every single day, man. Seriously.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that you guys, you know, obviously you got your family and friends that follow your career, but you literally have a small portion of a state that, you know, follows everything you guys do and thinks that, you know, you guys are the world. So we appreciate you guys being loyal to the family, and you got the family behind you. So thank you guys for coming out.
We appreciate you guys. We appreciate y'all.
We got to get you some of the new snapbacks that came in. We got to send some of those out.
For sure,
You know,
for sure.
little road hat for you guys to wear when you're trying not to be seen.
Uh-oh.
That's real. That's real.
All right, boys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys.
See ya.
Easy.
Catch y'all later.
See you, boys. Well, that's going to do it for the first episode of the Tidal Surge, the first and the only podcast in the NECBL. Welcome back to the Tidal Surge. I'm Tim Joyce, Director of Media Relations for the Ocean State Waves. We're with President and General Manager Eric Hirschbein-Bodnar, Director of Operations Joe Mello, and we have a special guest here, former URI athletic trainer and current Red Sox minor league athletic trainer Bobby Stachura.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate the opportunity to come on, guys. I feel like this is pretty sweet. The first one in NECBL, first season or first episode. I'll take it.
Yeah, you're a pretty special guest here, Bob.
And I appreciate it.
So I'll start this off, Bob. So you're sitting here in quarantine in Providence, Rhode Island. You know, you're wearing the B on your chest from Boston, Massachusetts. And for those who don't know, Bob is the head athletic trainer of the Greenville Drive, the Red Sox high A team.
Low A team in the South Atlantic League, South Carolina.
And ironically, in Bob's tenure with the Greenville Drive, he's had two former Waves that he's seen at Old Mountain come through the system with him. Shortstop Grant Williams from the 2016 Ocean State
2016,
team.
yep.
And his teammate, Andrew Politi, or was Andrew the 2017?
Andrew was 2018.
2018 Ocean State. So two draft picks by the Red Sox, both ironically Bobby had the chance to see play at Old Mountain, and now he got to work with them down in Greenville. And Lowell?
No, so the only time I got to work with them was I worked with Politi in spring training, and then I worked with Grant for like 95% of the season in Greenville. And then towards the later part of the season, he got promoted up to Salem, which is high A.
Was that kind of a cool opportunity for you to see Grant playing? One of my favorite pictures actually ever is seeing Grant playing shortstop, and Dustin Pedroia playing second base on his rehab stint. That was a pretty cool picture. I know Grant was kind of full circle for that, kind of that little kid moment to work with one of his big league idols on the field. So that must have been pretty cool for you as well to see that from the dugout view.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was opening day in Greenville, so it was packed house. I mean, seeing guys progress through college and then come to NECBL and play with the Waves and then having an opportunity to watch them play professionally just really shows how talented these players are and how much they performed in summer baseball, because I feel like that's a big part of their game where a lot of times they get recruited and that season can be a draft pick for them or not. I feel like Grant did a really good job playing for the Waves, and then obviously he's doing a really good job in the Red Sox organization. So, I mean, just kind of shows the type of player he is as well. Same thing with Politi. I mean, watching him, I mean, he's grown so much. He throws the ball really well. I mean, everybody sees it. He did really well with the Waves. Going into spring training, he did fantastic, made it Salem. I mean, he might have made Double A as well towards the end of the season. But, I mean, same thing with him. It just shows what kind of person he is and what kind of personality he has to be the best and want to be the best.
So talking about Pedroia, what's it like from the trainer side with a guy who has a history of a lot of knee issues coming in to play for the first time in a year? What's that like on your end, seeing that?
I mean, it's eye-opening. I mean, you see a guy just like Pedroia who has that grit and the grind to play every day and get better. He's the type of person that wants to get better, and he's going to do whatever he can to do so. And he's going to make sure that everybody around him knows his expectations for himself and for everybody else. I mean, just recently, The Last Dance that MJ was on, and you saw the type of persona that he pursued to his team and his teammates and his staff even. I mean, Pedroia is very similar in that, where he wants you to know that he's here to win and he's not going to slack. So same thing with him. He's a great guy, and he really works hard to get where he has been and where he wants to be.
So going off that real quick, we're talking about obviously Dustin Pedroia doing a rehab stint with the Greenville Drive. Now, from your perspective, you have a different view on this than a lot of guys do. Like a lot of the common fans and common folks see spring training as just, you know, guys getting their feet wet, getting their timing back from the baseball side, from the medical side. How important is spring training? And with us, you know, in the pandemic we're in, rushing to get baseball back, how important is it to make sure the guys take the necessary steps and not just go 120% when they've kind of been sitting back recently?
Right. I mean, spring training is pretty much your building block of the season. You're getting your body ready. I mean, you see OTAs and mini camps for football, it's similar. Spring training is a great build to get into the season, so your body is feeling the best it can going into the season. And we try and get the guys pretty much 100% most efficient, feeling the best that they can towards middle end of the season to get ready for playoffs. I mean, everyone plays to become a champion, and that's what we're going for. So spring training does a lot of that. It preps the guys. It gets inning in for pitchers, gets guys legs under them, because the off season is a very important time for players to relax and recover and take care of their bodies. But when spring training comes around, that's when you start to build them up to get them into game shape. Otherwise, if you just go right into it, you have a high chance of injury, high chance to hurt yourself, and that's obviously something that my profession is we try to avoid. So I think we do a really good job, as every organization does, is getting these guys ready. So when game one hits, they're feeling just as good as game 140 in playoffs and World Series or what have you.
So the interesting fact that jumps out at me is, you said it right there yourself. Spring training is so important to make sure guys are, feeling their best self late. They're healthy in game 140. They're ready to roll into the playoffs. They're ready to. So what's the conversation right now between you and your players, you and your coaching staff, you and the organization, and the fact that with the pandemic going on and guys not being in your care every day and the team not having their eyes and their hands on their guys to see how they're feeling, to just in their timetable and how they're going to be healthy later on, how your timetable as a medical professional and seeing guys progress, whether strengthening certain parts of their body, their nutrition, whatever it may be, not having them for 3 months. How can you project and make sure that, in essence, that these organizations are protecting their investments and making sure that they're going to be their healthiest, best self late, losing 3 months of the season and spring training?
Right. I mean, definitely a big question. I mean, obviously, as of right now, everyone's kind of still waiting on what baseball is going to be this year. I mean, whether it's going to happen, whether it's not going to happen, whether minor league season's going to play or not. I mean, we're all waiting on that. But what we're doing right now is constant communication every day. I mean, a big thing that we do is we have trust in our guys. I feel like our organization has built players and put them on a path for success. And with that comes that trust that the players, whether they're in the off season or in the pandemic that we're in, they're going to do the best that they can with what they have at home to be ready for the season. And by no means do we expect everybody to be 100% ready for game one if that ever happens. But we have a lot of trust in them with conversations, FaceTime, Zoom, what have you. And these guys are really working their butts off to get ready because they're as anxious as anybody else. I mean, this is the first time baseball hasn't been in our lives probably since 5 years old for everybody. So it's definitely eye-opening. But these guys are hard workers. We know what they're doing, and we have 100% trust in them, knowing that they're going as hard as they can with what they have. So hopefully that spring training 2.0 comes around, that they're ready to hit the ground running, and game one comes, and they're in tip-top shape. And hopefully game 70 for minor leagues, they're the same thing, game 50, whatever it is.
Now, what are you doing on a personal level for your guys? How are you working with them one-on-one through technology? Is it more stretching? Is it more, straining, post-lift, pre-lift, pre-throwing routine? Like, obviously, guys, you have guys in individual programs for yourself. I mean, obviously, you guys have somewhat of a roster you guys think you might have, and you're working with guys one-on-one. What are some stuff that you're doing with these guys via FaceTime, via Zooms, and all that you can do from Providence?
Yeah, I mean, for some guys, they left spring training a little banged up from whatever reasons. So, I mean, I'm doing as much as I can through Zoom, FaceTime, phone calls, text messages and stuff, kind of running guys through rehab and treatment protocols and making sure they're doing it the right way. On top of that, I mean, they're still doing baseball activity as much as they can, like I said earlier. But the big thing for us that is part of my job is the hands-on part, and that's very crucial. And unfortunately, we're not able to do that right now. So having that trust in the players, knowing that they're working hard to get where they want to be, and using technology as much as we can to help aid that. I mean, it's the best that we can do, but I mean, we're doing it every day. We want to make sure that these guys are ready because obviously the end goal is a World Series championship for the big leagues, and the minor leagues, the league championship. So these guys know that, and they want to get to the next level. So they're definitely not going to skip a beat in that. And I'm just here to help as much as I can. They're really doing the work. I'm just guiding them.
Now let's flip that real quick. High school athlete, college athlete. You know, I've read some stuff that they say that statistically it's very hard to add muscle and to get stronger during, you know, from home workouts with the body weight work. But I know a lot of guys are focusing on getting, you know, looser, getting faster, you know, maintaining their strength and their BMI, so to say. What advice do you give those athletes to stay in game shape for when the time comes and they're ready to go? What would you, you know, what do you suggest for an amateur athlete, what they could do to keep their body in tip-top shape?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, number one's nutrition. If you're not really giving your body what it needs to recover and feel the best it can, the work that you're going to do outside of that, lifting, throwing, what have you, is not necessarily a waste, but it's not going to be as efficient as you can. On top of nutrition, sleep, those are the two big things that you can control. Those are very important for recovery, for the mind, for the body to get ready for that next day. If I'm lifting very hard, but I'm eating really badly, I get 3 hours of sleep, I get up the next day and I have a heavy lift, I'm not going to perform to the best that I can. And because of that, now I'm like a day behind. So now I'm not only hurting myself, but I'm putting myself behind for my teammates as well. So stuff like that, nutrition, sleep, definitely big. The things outside of that that you can do is running. I mean, that's very simple. You don't need equipment for that. You need shoes, you need a street, you need turf, whatever. Getting your body, building that foundation aerobically is very important. And then on top of that, doing any kind of weight training that you can do, whether it's body weights, whether it's pull-ups, chin-ups, or if you're lucky enough to have some sort of gym and weights in your home. But no matter what, I would say that those things that you can control in this pandemic that we're in is very important, because when you're able to get to the gym, your body's going to be ready and you're not going to go in feeling sore, feeling sluggish, or necessarily behind everybody else. I mean, those are the big things that we preach, and a lot of our guys aren't able to get to a gym, but we have a plan for them and they're going accordingly with it, and we trust what they're doing. We know that they're taking care of their bodies, they're eating the right things, because those are the things that they can control, and you don't really need somebody to tell you how to do that. That's just own personal will and wanting to get better.
All right, now we're going to flip the switch here on you. We're going to ask you some personal questions that kind of want to hear your opinion.
What you got?
One thing I got for you is, what's the hardest transition going to being a college athletic trainer to a professional athletic trainer? And you cannot give the single answer, because I know I've seen this coming to your apartment. I've seen multiple of these books sitting on your ottomans. But I know you've learned a lot of Spanish over the days.
I have.
I know that.
Yeah, and I definitely have. I mean, it is a big transition. I mean, no matter what, an athlete is an athlete. Just because they're a college athlete and a high school athlete or professional athlete doesn't mean I'm going to give attention any differently. They're still there to perform. I'm still here to help them get to their highest potential, whether that's high school baseball, college, professional, what have you. I'm here to help out. One of the biggest transitions, though, is having a group of guys every single day with you, and then doing the maintenance on top of that, because they don't have class, right? So their entire day is their job pretty much. When you're in college, you have to schedule around classes, meetings, tests, what have you. So you have to be pretty much available the same amount of time, but not getting the same amount of work done. In a professional setting, these guys come to the ballpark, they're ready to go. You can have a 7 o'clock game and be at the ballpark at noon, 1 o'clock if you want to get ready. So that's kind of the biggest transition for me. And then just having games every day. I mean, it's a grind, and that's what we love to do, and that's why we're in it. We love the grind, and just like the players, we want to get to the top that we can and reach our potential. So that's definitely the travel on top of that, going 15-hour bus rides every 3 days, 7, 4, 5-hour bus rides. It can definitely hinder how you feel, but same thing that we do. I mean, nutrition and sleep are the top two things that we can control, and that's what we have to do.
So talking about, I know Bod said Spanish. You have a guy that comes in, doesn't speak a word of English. How do you approach that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've been trying to do a lot to learn Spanish just so the communication aspect is a lot easier. The organization does a great job helping out these Spanish speakers and international players learn English. So we kind of can bridge that gap a little bit better. But as you build a relationship with them and they get to know you and you get to know them and you get into that routine, you can pretty much just go through treatment without even like talking. They just know what they have to do. I mean, in the beginning, it's hard to do. By no means is it easy. Sometimes you have to help get a translator or stuff like that. But once you build that routine and you guys are comfortable with each other, you'd be surprised on how quickly that can go from a lack of communication and not knowing each other to a treatment that can potentially be 45 minutes turned into 20 minutes just because you get into that routine. So that's something that's special about my job, is that I'm allowed to get to know guys on a different level than a lot of others.
So do you
All right,
consider yourself bilingual now?
I wish I was bilingual. I'm not 100% there yet, but I can do enough to get my job done.
Good.
All right, so we're gonna fire off some rapid fire questions right now.
Yeah,
We're gonna go 3. All right, who had the best walk up in any of your professional baseball that you've seen?
I'm gonna say Tyler Esplin.
What was it?
It was Bee Gees, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Brick House?
Yep. That was really good. I was a fan. He's a young kid out of high school, and I didn't honestly expect him to have that kind of song, so he gained respect from me. If he heard this, he's never gonna let me live it down though.
All right, who had the weirdest superstition?
Everybody. I mean, jeez, everybody has the weirdest.
What are some of the best ones you saw? There has to be some good ones in that dugout.
Wow, I'm trying to think of the weirdest ones. I don't know anybody off the top of my head, but I forgot who it was, but they literally taped every individual knuckle on their glove hand every single game.
Really?
For reason. I never asked him. I didn't want to get into his head, but he would tape every single knuckle and then put it in his glove, make sure it was nice and tight and good, and he was off and he was ready to go.
You weren't.
It works, right?
Was there a medical reason you asked him?
Huh?
Was there a medical reason? Did you try and get that out of him, or he just said, "Nope, don't look at me. I'm stealing your tape"?
No, he said, "This is my thing. I'm gonna do it," and he's playing professional baseball, so I'm letting it ride.
Now, was it just like around the knuckle here, or was it around the whole hand almost?
Oh no, it was like knuckle, like that.
And what was he? He was a hitter, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Was he a power guy, stolen base guy? I'm just trying to make sense of how that correlates.
I don't know if you can make sense of superstitions, honestly.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. I'm not going to question it. That's for sure.
Now, Bobby, for those that don't know, you spent time in playing Division III baseball at LaSalle College.
Yep.
If you had to give us one word for your style of play in collegiate baseball, what would it be?
Wow. I'd say gritty. I mean, I was the type of guy to slide in second base trying to break up a double play, and I don't really care what happens to the shortstop or second baseman. I mean, I knew that was my 4 years to play, my last 4 to play, so I wanted to make sure I gave it my all and I left it on the field. So, I mean, I'm lucky enough to be on the other side of the lines watching guys pursue their dreams. So I'd say it's pretty gritty.
So were you a stolen base guy? Were you a doubles guy, home runs guy? What kind of player was Bobby Stachura? For the fans that don't know.
If you looked at my spray chart, all my hits are in right field. I couldn't pull the ball to save my life.
You had a good approach.
Yeah, stolen bases, maybe 5 in my career. I was slow, but I did have about 40 hit by pitches in my career, so I'm proud of that.
So do you preach in the dugout, don't move your feet? Like, do you tell guys, are you more the OBP or the more protect the investment?
I mean, if I was coaching, I'd just tell them to crowd the plate and swing the bat and get in the way. I mean, if you get on base, you get on base. Who cares how you do it?
I agree. And then once you get on base, you score. That's the nature of the game, right?
Exactly.
So let me ask this: Who was the funniest guy you ever worked with?
Funniest guy I ever worked with. Are we talking college or are we talking professional?
No, pro guys.
Pro guy. Same thing. That if he hears this, he's not going to let me live it down. But I'd say Jordan Wren. He was a funny dude. I had him in 17 with the Spinners, It was his first year from Georgia Southern. He's a good dude. He's very funny, very laid back kind of guy. Type of guy that you want in the clubhouse to keep it light.
So we have a night off in Greenville. What are we doing? Where are we going? Where are we going to eat? What's there to do?
So Greenville, 10 o'clock, sushi, buy one, get one every night. So automatically off the bat, we're going to get sushi down the road. In Greenville, for those of you who don't know, the ballpark is on one end of Main Street. It's about 2 to 3 mile walk, and you can get everything from a fancy burger to a $100 steak. So the night and what you want to eat is up to you. But sushi is buy one, get one. You can't beat it. It's incredible. From there, there's a beautiful park with a waterfall. For the ones that follow me on social media, you know how much I like that waterfall because it's always on it.
Always. Every day.
Yep. And then outside of that, I mean, there's phenomenal rooftop places just to go hang out where they play some live music or just laid back and relax. I mean, Greenville's a beautiful city. I'm lucky to be there. And as much as I like being there, I hope I get out of there pretty soon and keep going up in the system.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead,
you
bud.
go, Joe. No, you go.
Okay. Now, compared to some people that have like a definitive office, you're in a very unique situation where your office half the time is on a coach bus.
Yeah.
How exactly do you spend your time on and in those seats and in those buses going all across the Eastern United States?
Very uncomfortably, let me tell you that. I mean, a lot of the times that we're leaving is going to be after a game. So at that point, it's probably midnight. I mean, we're lucky to have getaway days on Sundays where we're done by 5 o'clock. But a lot of the time we play some movies. I mean, guys play cards in the back. I listen to music and I just relax. I mean, I do my reports and all that kind of stuff that I have to do before we get on the bus. And then by the time I'm on the bus, I already ate, I'm listening to music, put on some country, sit back, relax, and just enjoy the ride because I just got to wait until we get home.
Yep.
All right, here you go. Here's a great question. It's a loaded question. 3-part question for you.
All right, what you got?
So just got done with the game. Probably got a W. You got, probably 6 to 8 hour bus ride to go up for the night. 3 artists you're putting on in your headphones. Rattle them off right now. Three musical artists you're listening to.
100% Old Dominion, by far one of my favorite bands ever. Zach Brown, same thing. My top 2 that I've seen. They put on a fantastic concert. And then after that, I'm going to say Brett Eldridge or Tom Tourette.
Wow, good choices. No Luke Combs, no Morgan Wallen, huh?
I mean, I love those guys too, but I put on my Old Dominion or Zach Brown Pandora, let it ride, dude.
Okay, so also for those who aren't familiar with the minor league lifestyle, I would say out of the 60 or 80 games Bobby plays, 40 of them are on the road, and I'd say out of those 40 nights, he spends about 25 of them on bus rides more than 5 hours. So you're putting a lot of time on and miles on that body. But What are your top 3 Netflix suggestions to pass that time?
Ooh, that's a good one. Ozarks always comes out during the season, so number 1, have to do that.
Is that by design?
Yeah, I mean, they do it on purpose. They have to know that baseball. So Ozark's definitely number 1. I have random documentaries that you just kind of fall into a rabbit hole in about literally anything.
What's your top 2?
I mean, I don't know. I do a lot of sport things, but like war documentaries, like you fall into a rabbit hole. You just like remember things from history class or whatever. And you're like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. Let me go. And then 5 hours later, you're home.
Yep.
I do that, and then honestly, I do a lot of Adam Sandler movies. He's one of my favorite actors. I think he's hilarious. So anything that.
What's your favorite one?
Gems
just on Netflix.
Yeah, Uncut Gems. I saw that in theaters.
Great movie.
Gilmore, Waterboy, like the old school Adam Sandler's are great, but even like his Netflix originals, I think are awesome just because I'm such a big fan of them.
And here's the tough question. You get back from the game. It's like 1 o'clock. And you can't use your fiance as an answer to this one.
All right.
Who are the top 3 people in your phone that you're texting to pick their brain and get a good time wasting out of your day?
I'd say you're probably one of those guys.
Is that because you know them up? Because we probably are on the bus too.
I know you're up as well, or on the bus, or just got out of the game. So obviously, I'm following the waves on Twitter and all that kind of stuff to see how they're doing. So I'm gonna pick your brain and see what happened, and hopefully you guys won, which you normally do. But if you lost, I'm gonna let you know that you lost.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we'll lose a game by a run, and I'll get a text from Bobby. Why'd you send Chewy? Like, why? What was your thinking? Like, man, didn't you just get out of the game? Let me just digest. And I'm already getting, questioned by Bob.
Yeah, 100%. So you're number one, probably. I'd say my parents if they're up, and then I don't know. I'd probably say Nazarko too, because I mean he's kind of in the same boat as me, so he's always on the bus. He's grinding as well. So
yeah, for those that don't know, John Nazarko, former URI basketball player, URI strength coach. Now he's a strength coach of the Texas Rangers farm system. So you can see the connection between the Rhode Island Rams and the athletic training community and the athletic strength community, and how former players always kind of find their way through the ranks. We all stick together in the coaching and strength conditioning world.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last question that I had for you was 18-year-old kid, just drafted, high draft pick out of high school, reports to low A, comes in to see you for the first time. What's your advice to him? What are you talking to him about? I know obviously you're introducing yourself, you're trying to be humble, but at the end of the day, you're kind of a little bit of a father figure to these young kids, you and the coaching staff, and you're with them for 80 nights out of the summer, and their first time away from mom and dad on the road grinding, just got out of high school. What's that kind of conversation like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to build a great relationship with them. Like you said, they're 18 years old, first time out. I mean, they're playing baseball because they have a dream and they're grinding. They want to get there. So we do the best that we can to make a family out of our team, because in reality, that's exactly what it is. We're in it from day one until the season's over, and then once the season's over, we're still in it in the off season. So that never stops. I mean, the communication never stops. We're always looking out for each other. What I try and do, I mean, my job, as hard as it may seem, is fairly easy. Guys come up to me and they just communicate what's going on with them, and they tell me flat out what it is. All I have to do is figure out how to fix it. So that's what I try and preach to those young guys is be honest with me, communicate with me every day. Let me know. Sometimes it's not a big issue and we can work it out. Other times you might need there too. And that's expected, especially with 18-year-olds. I mean, high school, they're playing, in the Northeast, they're lucky to get 20 games, but obviously down South, they're playing more, but they're not used to that grind that everybody else has been in potentially in that college. So just getting them to feel comfortable and getting themselves in a routine, because obviously that's big. You're doing the same thing every day, and then teach them how to take care of their bodies. Recovery is a big part of what we do, and it's a big aspect in getting to game 70, game 140, getting to that last game of the championship.
And you said,
last question. Go ahead, Bob.
One thing you said, the most important thing here is nutrition, right?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite top 3 post-game meals? Go.
Pasta, 100%. You have to go with that. Chicken parm is a no-brainer. And I absolutely love Latin American food. So you give me anything Latin American, rice and beans, plantains, sold.
Good.
All right, last question. You get a guy that gets drafted this year, whatever round, doesn't matter. What's your advice to him to help him progress?
Coming from your perspective with the Waves and how they've played their summer in the NECBL and the transition from the NECBL to minor league baseball.
I mean, I think the Waves, you guys do a really good job of showing them how the lifestyle is going to be. I mean, you guys are on the road just like we are. You guys are coming back at midnight just like we are, and that's great. And that shows them what it's like, and it's a great transitional period for them. But for me, I tell them, open up, relax. Baseball is baseball. No matter where you're playing on the East Coast, West Coast, Canada, it doesn't matter. I mean, baseball is baseball. It doesn't change. It's still 90 feet, 60 feet, 6 inches. It's still the same. Rules don't matter. It's all the same. So I tell them, play their sport, relax, communicate with me, be open. I mean, they're in minor league baseball for a reason, to get better. They're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. So be open about it, be humble, admit when you're wrong, and learn from your mistakes and just get better. I mean, that's what we're all here to do, and that's why we're in the position that we're in. So just have fun too. I mean, you got to relax.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Bob. I know you're busy. trying to get save baseball. You're part of the few trying to save baseball here. So appreciate what you do, and hopefully we'll see you down in Greenville or somewhere close by.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys. Roll waves.
Yeah, of course. So that's going to wrap it up for this part. We'll be back with part 2 soon.